Hey everyone! This quick mini video is going to cover how to get the contextualization point on the DBQ and LEQ on AP history exams. In both of these essay formats, you get 1 point for contextualization, usually found in your introductory paragraph of your essay. So let's work on making sure we get that point by understanding what you need in order to achieve this point. Okay, so number 1, contextualization belongs in your intro. That is where it should go. It is the lead into your essay. What is happening around the world at the time of this prompt? What is the background information? This is not something super narrow, okay? Save that for evidence beyond the document. Something super narrow that's related but could go with a document needs to be evidence later added. Instead, this point is you showing your reader that you know why the prompt is being asked in the first place. That's why it goes before your thesis in your intro. Now, what if it's separated from your thesis? Can you still get the point? It's been known to happen. It does happen. However, how often it is awarded outside of that intro paragraph, not as often. Simply because if it's not in there, it doesn't always get connected to your argument or your thesis the same way as it would if it was in the intro. Okay, number 2, contextualization must relate to the prompt. Okay, so let's look at what the College Board says you must do to get this point. They say that the response must relate the topic of the prompt to broader historical events, developments, or processes that occur before, during, or continue after the time frame of the question. This point is not awarded for merely a phrase or a reference. This means that even if you have factually accurate information, but it does not relate to the prompt, or you do not connect it to the prompt, you will not get this point. So it has to somehow relate to the topic at hand. Did it cause the topic at hand? Is it related to the topic of the prompt? It has to actually fit with what you will be writing about. Otherwise, it's just random information. Which brings me to point number 3. Contextualization should be fact-rich. It cannot be vague, and it cannot be a mere mention. Let's look at the rubric point again. Notice the piece that says it cannot be awarded for merely a phrase or a reference. This means that you can't just use one topic or phrase and expect to get this point. Just throwing in, "this happened around the time of the Columbian Exchange," won't cut it. You need to make sure you actually explain what the Columbian Exchange is, not just mention it. Don't just say, "it was happening at the time of the Industrial Revolution." Explain the Industrial Revolution. It can't be, "well, in the 1800s, Europeans were imperializing other areas of the world." Explain how or why that was occurring. Another teacher who teaches AP Euro says it this way: 3 to 4 fact-rich analytical sentences that include specific details. Can you get it in 1 or 2 rockstar sentences? Sure you can. Under pressure, is it likely that you might need another sentence or 2 to get that stuff in there? Yeah. Which brings us to point number 4. After you explain your context, or as you explain your context, you must link it to the prompt. To use my earlier examples, you can't leave it at describing. You can't just say the Columbian Exchange and describe what it is, or industrialization and describe it. You must take that an extra step and connect it to either your thesis or to the topic at hand, otherwise known as the prompt. You need a short, quick sentence that connects it there. So you'll start broadly. Picture a triangle that flattens down to a point, right? Have the details and then make the connection to the thesis at the very end. This is how the College Board review videos have been discussing contextualization. So let's take a look at a few so you can see how the College Board sees this playing out. Okay, so here's the prompt from the 2019 DBQ. Evaluate the extent to which the Portuguese transformed maritime trade in the Indian Ocean in the 16th century. So let's take a look at the essay that they have on the website as a sample, what person A, whoever they are, did for this contextualization. In the 16th century, rising technological innovations led to an increase in trade and exploration. European countries struggled to rise in power and sought new trade routes to increase both their empirical power as well as improve their economy. As many Europeans did not have the proper geography to grow cash crops themselves, namely sugar and spices, they sought to acquire them for cheaper by removing the middleman in the Middle East and create their own direct trading line. The Portuguese first found a way to achieve spices by traveling along the coast of Africa, around the Cape of Good Hope, and arriving at their trading posts. Okay, now this was a lot of context. Do you need this much to get the point? No, you do not. This person was definitely erring on the side of caution. But let's take a look at what they have. Is it fact-rich? Yes. Is it analytical? Yes. Is it about the time frame? Absolutely. Is it connected to the prompt, which would be how the Portuguese were even there in the first place so that they could even dream of transforming trade in that area? Yes, it has everything you need. Now, does it have to be this involved? No. So let's take a look at another one that might be a little bit shorter but still get the point. Navigational technologies such as the compass and lateen sail encouraged marine trade after their popularization. With these technologies, explorers such as Diaz rounded the Cape of Good Hope in Africa and introduced the Indian Ocean Trade Network to Europe. The Portuguese, in particular, took an interest in Asian spices, resulting in many investments toward the spice trade. Okay, so is this as detailed as the first one? Nope. Does it still work? Absolutely. Why? Because it has what you need. It's relevant to the prompt, it has specific background information that is accurate, and most importantly, it's directly connected to the Portuguese being in the region, the topic of the prompt. Okay, so overall, the context point is a great point that we can easily achieve, so long as we follow the rules. You can't just throw in some info and expect it to work. So let's review the 4 main things your contextualization needs to accomplish to achieve the point. Number 1, it should be in the introduction, leading into your thesis, as that is the best place for it. Number 2, it has to relate to the prompt. Even if it's accurate info, it can't just be random and unrelated. Number 3, it must have historically accurate details in it. It must be explained and not simply mentioned. And number 4, it must connect to your thesis or the prompt. It cannot simply be 3 great fact-rich sentences. It also has to have that connection to your thesis or the prompt. Otherwise, it will not get the point. Okay, hopefully this helps you get the contextualization point on your AP History essays. Check out the contextualization handout I have posted on Canvas from me and Mrs. Broderick. We had help from multiple other history teachers across the country for that one. Also, once again, be sure to check out other teacher videos like Heimler's History for more on how to get the context point. Multiple perspectives from multiple teachers can only help. Have a great day.